Good morning, Facebook friends and family and everybody else out there.
Yeah. Gosh, it's a beautiful day here in Cincinnati. Cold,
It
but
is.
beautiful. It really makes you start to think about, hang on, I'm going to turn off my Zoom sound on Facebook. Anyway, it'll show up here. We'll start to hear an echo and then I'll be able to turn it off. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've had quite a few people that have been looking at the video after we had put it up on Facebook. So we know that people are interested in the conversation and just can't make it at 11 o'clock in the morning, which is great. Our commitment is to really support people in just making it work. So getting them the information.
But if you do have questions and you want to write in and have us specifically talk about something, feel free to either comment on the videos themselves, or you can actually email us at shemoolah, just like it sounds, SHEMOOLAH @gmail.com. And we'll put that email as well in the comments when we get done today. So, or maybe even Don's doing it right now. So.
I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Excellent. So we've been talking about the Great Resignation. What is that? You know, there's many women leaving the workforce right now. And there's different reasons that they're leaving the workforce. Maybe it's because of the environment, maybe it's because of their situation at home and they need to be more present and they don't have flexibility at work. Maybe it's because they're looking to pivot and really kind of bring something forward that's kind of like their North Star. They're looking to launch a business, they're looking to launch a big idea. So we're here just to kind of talk about the Great Resignation and things to think about. And oftentimes before people do something like that, they're asking themselves the question of what is enough? What is enough resources? What is enough money? What is enough time to put forward to this? So what is enough? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Right. You see, we have Linda is on Facebook with us, and Linda, if you want to join Zoom, we can put the link out there, and you can come on and actually chat with us face to face, or you can put any comments that you have into the Facebook part, and we're happy to answer any questions. Or we know Linda for many years, and Linda is a wealth advisor, especially for women. She has a company called Up Level, and she's really very focused on supporting women from the financial and wealth perspective, so that if you're thinking about leaving your job or retiring early or whatever it might look like in terms of changing your career, Linda's one of those people that can help you sort through the strategic conversation about how much money do you need in the future based on getting ready for retirement. She's got this really great saying that I live by anymore that says, you can't take a loan out for retirement.
That's right.
Take a loan out for anything else, but you can't take a loan out for retirement. So it's important to make sure that as you think about the Great Resignation, that you're also thinking about your retirement. So if you're in your early 20s, it's one conversation. If you're in your 40s, it's another conversation. If you're in your 60s, that's even yet another conversation to make sure you've got the money that you need. So today, I'm gonna go ahead and give Linda the chat information so that she can join us. So can you get to it easily?
Yeah, I can do that. You focus on.
Okay, great.
And I will send it to her.
What we want to talk about today is like, what is enough? That's the conversation for today. When people decide that they are going to make a big shift, any kind of a career shift or a career pivot, quite often we do it from some sort of reaction. We do it from reaction mode. It's like there's an article that says why people are leaving, like what's the catalyst? And in this particular article, which was in Forbes, which was called A Note to the Leaders, a lot of times people leave because it's a lack of recognition or professional relationships. They don't feel like they're having strong professional relationships, or a lack of employee engagement, right? It could be that about flexibility, or it could be about the benefits that you're receiving. So if you're looking to make a big shift in your career and what you're hoping for is flexibility, or you're wanting more better relationships with the with people that are professional, just like yourself, or you want more recognition, you want to, those are actually things that you could start to measure. Because when we think about the word enough, you really want to be able to have a measure to it. If I say, I want to be happier, what the heck does happier mean? How do I actually know if I've achieved it? If I say I want more money, well, what do I have now and how much more would make me happy? If I say I want more recognition, well, who is that coming from and how often do you need it? And do you need it in what form? These are all forms of enough, right? We want to start to, so you want to think about what is it that you need in terms of enough? Do you have enough time? So do you have enough time to actually sit down and create a strategy and to actually put activities in place if one of the things you wanted to do was to be more flexible and be home with the kids? So if you've got a kid running around at home, I don't care what age they are, Liz can tell you she's got a high school kid, you know, or if you've got dogs, right? All of a sudden now your time is being pulled away. So you've got the flexibility to be with family and critters, but you may not have the time to actually do the work to build out your new business idea. So that's really what we're talking about today, is this idea of what is enough. So Liz, what do you want to say about enough?
Yeah. The most common thing that we hear is that people, really wonder if they have enough time, if they have enough money. They have this concept that, they're scared, they're going to run out of time, they're going to run out of money. But there are other resources as well. Support systems. It's really important to make sure that the support is there as well. What kind of support? What does that look like? Do you have enough support? Be it from your family to support you on your mission, or be it from, business partners. Because if you came from the corporate world and you're going to be launching your own thing, you're used to working with other people, and you're used to having other people pick up and be part of your team. So what does that look like? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was a big, I had always dreamed of working from home. I really wanted the flexibility of being able to work from home. And I used to work for Purdue University, love Purdue University, but for family reasons, I needed to move away from Purdue and come down to Cincinnati to be able to be with family. And they were great. They let me start doing what we called remote work before there was remote work. This was about 3 years ago. And I would work from home on Mondays and Fridays, and I would drive up on Tuesday morning. And then I had a girlfriend would let me stay with her Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And then I would drive back home on Thursday night. So every, Tuesday morning, I'd pack up the dog and pack up my suitcase, and we'd drive up to Mary's house and stay there. And then I would drive home go back to Mary's house at the end of the day, having worked all day, pick up the dog, pick up my suitcase, and drive the 3 hours back home. So that was remote work before we actually did a lot of remote work. So in many ways, it was really great to be able to do it. I got a lot of great windshield time, which I actually loved. I love being able to think about all the projects that I was working on. So it really gave me a new level of flexibility, but all of a sudden now my car has an extra, 6 hours of driving in it per week, going back and forth to Purdue. And I have more gas money to get it done. But what I also missed though was when I started to transition to be more at home, I missed all the walking I did at Purdue, and I missed all the people that I was around. I really missed being with people. And then when COVID hit, all of a sudden, I'm one of these very social beings, and living alone with a dog that was, 16 years old was not enough for me. So when you think about, it didn't even enter into my radar screen that I needed enough people, right? I thought, oh, I'll be able to do this. I'll be online, but what's enough people? What's enough people, real people interaction that was necessary for me to be successful? And so when you and I launched Shimula, it was fabulous to be able to have that relationship, at least consistently on a daily basis. But for me, enough people really impacted my creativity, impacted my my willpower, my discipline. It impacted so many things because nobody was counting on me to get myself out of bed in the morning to go work out or anything like that. So for me, enough, while time and money is an important measure, I really needed enough people. So what was one of the things that was important for you, Liz, in terms of what is enough?
There's a couple different things that come to mind. As a high extrovert, I also needed people, right? I get my creativity from bouncing ideas off of other people. And initially, when I launched and left the corporate world, I had that because we were face to face. And I had some really strong, powerful women's networks I was a part of. And we would be able to do that with each other. When everything went online with the pandemic, it just wasn't enough. I had to create that in other capacities in other ways. So I did recognize that as a strong extrovert. That was one thing. The other thing that it comes down to an enough, we were two great corporate income household, right? And I left and to go out on my own to launch business, which eventually became Shimula. And I had done some number crunching because that's what I did for a living, right? But it was interesting. There's a couple different ways that you can fund your business when you go to launch. You can make sure that you save the money. You can take it from savings. Some people take a loan from a 401k without having a strategy and necessarily paying it back. And those are the questions a lot of times that if we don't have the conversation of kind of what's enough and do some planning and some strategic work, we don't always have an idea of or a sense of urgency to create the payback plan, to create a couple other things. So enough takes on so many different definitions.
Mm. So Linda, welcome. We're so excited to have you here.
Well,
Hi,
that's kind
Linda.
of for the moment, but I did put on some lips and eyes for you guys. So hello, good morning.
Well, thank you. You look
Thank
beautiful.
you. Yes.
Here's
So-
to looking beautiful.
That's right. Here's to it.
Here we go. Let's.
Oh, you're blurry. Pull it back. There you go.
Oh, what does it
Nope,
say?
almost,
Kiss?
almost. Something about kick ass.
It's not.
Put it in front of your face. Put it in front of your face.
Oh,
there we go. Kick today's ass. I love it. I love it. That's perfect.
Awesome.
Well, and you know what?
My motivational mug. That's
I love
what we're
it.
going to do
I love
today.
it. Well, so today, as you know, Linda, we're talking about what is enough. And we were looking at all the different ways you can measure enough.
Yes.
It could be everything from time, money, resources. I was just sharing about how I needed enough personal interaction, right? Because otherwise I'm not always very motivated to do things on my own. So, and Liz was talking about how much money she started talking about enough money. You came in on that part. For you personally, Linda, could you share being on your own, because you were also a COVID long hauler that got hit by all of this. What was missing for you in terms of enough? Was it money, time, people, support? I mean, what was that big thing you've had to overcome in the last couple of years?
Are we speaking specifically of this time of COVID?
Well, it's so the Great Resignation, a lot of people are shifting and leaving and pivoting, and a lot of, you're an independent wealth advisor. Mm-hmm. And so you have always been in the entrepreneurial world, and even you have probably noticed that there's new hurdles to overcome in the last couple of years. And we're just trying to share with people, how do you think about what are some of the enough thing? What are the enough? What do you not have enough of, or did you not have enough of in the last couple of years that people should be considering? That if they're going to make a big jump from corporate America into their own thing.
Gotcha. So the shift from working in an office space where you have contact with people on a daily basis to possibly working as an entrepreneur or even a solopreneur, the interaction, the face-to-face contact with people, the generating of ideas. So through conversation with other people, you generate ideas that might be specific to the business that you have intended to launch, or the business that you are running at the moment. So when you kind of pull away, as we've had to do here over the last 2 years, close, you kind of miss that, the ideas, the talking to people who are in the same position as you are, going through some of the same things that you're going through, to just, spawn those ideas that might have some trouble swimming upstream to generate more. So that
Mhm.
was missing a lot for me personally here over the last 2 years. And I think that it is crucially important to have that support and feedback. So,
Mhm. Well, that's really interesting because you not only support, but the feedback, right?
oh,
It's one thing when people say, "Oh yeah, keep going, it's great," or "How are you
my
doing?" And
mom,
you're
my
reporting.
mom can do that. My mom can give me that. But what you guys do for me, as being a part of Shimula, is that feedback. That's just so important to have that. And from people who are at the same, or even, a little higher in the businesses, they're a step ahead of you, and or even a step behind you, to help you generate those ideas of what other people in that area need, want, desire, and maybe dream of, but they don't even think about it at the moment because they're so stuck on, what's right in front of them. What do I have to get done today? I've got all this paperwork. I've got a dog that needs to go out. We're kind of stuck in the now. So having the people that can give you feedback from outside, and at the same time be your cheerleaders, that's really important. Really important.
Cheerleaders, yeah. There's never enough cheerleaders, especially when you're a solopreneur working alone in your office and no one knows that you're there.
Yeah, I have one cheerleader here. He's being really
Right, I
loud.
know. Shiloh is such a great cheerleader. I know. And Liz has Pumpkin, her cat that sits in her lap quite often, who might walk across the screen from time to time. So Linda, can I put you on the spot for a minute? Because we hadn't planned this, but when people
Well,
are
none of
thinking,
this was planned. I wasn't
right,
planning on hopping on here either.
no, we're really great. We're really grateful that you did. As people are thinking about leaving the corporate America, that's normally where it is. You're well established in your role, and you're just fed up. It's time to go. What are
Yeah.
some things that they ought to be thinking about with regard to their investment future? Like if we could talk specifically just for a couple minutes, like what should people think about regarding their retirement plans and things of that nature before they just suddenly jump? What should they research? What should they know? Any quick tips on that?
Well, it's going to be very individual for each person. So reach out to your financial advisor and talk to them about your plans. Don't hesitate to reach out. They're the professionals who understand how to project income flow from what you have saved for your future. And I always say that, your finances, your savings, your assets are the foundation of your whole life. So you've got this huge foundation. If it isn't solid, and if it isn't without cracks, then everything that you build up on top of it is fragile. So use your financial professional to help you kind of go through the what ifs. What if this? What if that? What if I take money out of my 401k? What if I do quit my job? Where am I going to generate the income, and how much income can I generate? Your financial professional has the tools to be able to run some reports for you, whether it's a comprehensive financial plan, or it's just to sit down and bounce ideas back and forth. Don't hesitate to reach out to them. And if you don't have a financial advisor or a financial professional that you can talk to that with, about, then reach out to me. A conversation never costs money. So we can talk about all of that later, but just having a conversation with someone, I think, to start generating those ideas of what might this look like if I do this from a financial perspective is really important.
I think that's really terrific advice, because I know a lot of people will want to jump and they think, a lot of people don't like to look at money. I mean, that's what Liz and I do, is we help people look at money and their relationship to money. And some people we know don't even like to look at their bank account.
Mhm.
You know, they just hope that, you know, they got some stuff tucked away, and then they hope that each day their checkbook is still going to stay in the positive. And that isn't necessarily the way to launch a new business, or to just quit and go off and find a new job in hopes that you'll find the job of your dreams, right? And I think that what you're saying there is so critical, is you have to really get comfortable with the numbers of the future and the numbers of today. And Liz and I really support people in understanding the emotional relationship behind why you do or don't look at the numbers. And then we help point people to people like you, Linda, who can actually advise them, because Liz and I are not financial advisors, and we do not play them on TV. So we do not try to pretend that we would not give advice on that. We just get you set up and understanding the importance of a strategy to make sure that you're there. And we help people quite often before they come to you, right? You know, you're not in budget mode with people. People need to, when they come to you, they're ready, right? And if you're thinking about becoming part of the Great Resignation, we're not saying you shouldn't. We believe in you. If you have an idea, we believe in you, and we can help you get to where you want to go in the Great Resignation. But we want to make sure you're thinking as strategically as possible. You're going to miss some stuff, right? We're all going to miss something in the strategy, but make sure you can keep putting food on the table for 6 to 8 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're just going to quit,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, doing a projection on something like that and knowing where you are financially can remove that, you know, that is a burden that is going to constantly be at the back of your mind. So let's remove that so that you can fully focus on what your intention is, your intended outcome is.
Mhm.
Again,
Right.
your financial foundation has to be solid.
So Linda, Liz and I talk a lot about your vision, your goals, your dreams, and you use the word intended outcome. Do you want to say something about intended outcome from a financial advisor's point of view?
Well, I mean, so you can financially plan for what it is that you want to achieve, and you can strategize the income and the money flow to make sure that you're secure. And for instance, if we're looking out 6 months and you're going to give yourself 6 months to figure out what it is you're going to do, or how you're going to achieve that goal, because hopefully before you jump, you already know what you're going to do.
Mhm.
Nobody should jump without a parachute.
Right.
But setting a strategy to know that you have the security to reach that 6-month goal, that's the intended outcome from my perspective. So I'm looking at having cash on hand to be able to pay your bills, and also look at income that can be generated off of assets that are already in your possession. It's a little more complicated than that, but I really don't and can't go into a whole lot of detail about how that is achieved, simply because of compliance issues. I have to be very careful about what I say and how I say it. I can better talk.
But it's still about having a goal. It's still about having an intention, right? It's about, you know, this is how much, ideally, this is how much money I would like to have in my account. This is how much I need to pay bills or to support certain things or to replace my salary. And this is what, and then there's calculations on, I don't want to lose more than 10% of my retirement dividends or interest or whatever the terms might be, or I want to be able to pay it all back within a loan back within a certain amount of time, but it's all
Right.
about goals, not hope.
Right. It is about having a plan. An intended outcome is a plan. It's not just throwing a caution to the wind. Like I said, you don't jump without a parachute. It's planning for that parachute, making sure you've got that security in place so that you know where you want to go. Let's plan and make sure that you can get there financially secure.
Mhm.
That's crucial. I mean, especially if you have a family, right?
Right.
Yeah. Different if you're, if me and my fur babies. So that's a different story. And that's why it's such an individual thing. Whether you're an individual or whether you're somebody who has a family, do you have a spouse who is bringing in income while you are starting on this new path? There's a lot of moving parts. So we really have to know all the moving parts before we can create a plan so that you can reach your intended outcome.
Right. That's great advice. Liz, is there anything you want to say about this as well?
Yeah, and this is like an exploration in what's enough, right? So like there's the exploration of what's enough. And while you're still working in that corporate job, if you're planning on intending, you have the what's enough to leave to replace your income. How long can it last? Or do you need investors or a loan? There's all that what's enough. But then there's also the what's enough. Like if you do decide to stay, it's getting the clarity of what it is that needs to happen. That's an immeasurable improvement, right? So there's many different reasons that people want to leave. It's either to create something or it's because it's not working in their life, right? And the one thing that we will make sure that we talk about that, Shima, is it's not about blowing your life up,
Unless
And
that's what you
maybe-
really want to do.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes it's appropriate to blow your life up, but not
Right.
always.
And then
Hey,
a lot of times
don't talk to me about that though. I'm a nuts and bolts and a planner. I'm like,
But there are people that do need to blow their life up, and that's the first step. And other people, it's not about blowing your life up. It's about, defining what's enough and then kind of moving with that process of what's enough and then building the roadmap and the strategy to get there. Because sometimes we jump and then we have an idea of the roadmap and the strategy, but then we focus on sometimes the wrong things and we run out of resources before we're successful, right? So having that roadmap, having the strategy and the tactics there, and making sure that what you created in the what's enough strategy is aligned appropriately with what you're accomplishing. So you don't run out of money, right?
We have a program, and we haven't been like heavily marketing it in this conversation, but we did want to let people know that we have a program. It used to be called Crack Your Money Code, and now it's called your Money Master Plan Mastermind. And what that is that you take 4 months and you take a small amount of money and you join us for 4 months and you really explore where do you want to be in a couple of years and what do you need to be doing now to make it happen? What do you know how to do? We look at your money personality. I'm a maverick. Linda, you're a maverick. We like to take risks and jump into things. And Liz is a nurturer. And you start to use your money personality to design this future. And if you just take these couple of months and we work with the community, we meet once a week with the community. It's a mastermind where we bounce ideas off one another. And you can start to see what do you really need to do to make the jump? You have a whole team of people that are supporting you in making the jump when it's time, helping you think through the technology that you might need or the resources you might need or how to do calendar management or how do you bridge the gap with childcare. And those are the kinds of things that we offer in our Money Master Plan Mastermind program. It's 4 months and we have it on it's on our Shimula website. But we'd love to talk to you about that if that's something that's of interest. But ladies, we are at the 11:30 bewitching hour. So gosh, this 30 minutes go by fast. Anyway, Linda, you're welcome to join us anytime this week. We're going to do it again on Thursday and Friday. And, invite a couple of people along who have some skills or expertise in this area, or just have questions, and we can get them the Zoom link and they can join us on the screen as well. But Linda, thank you so much for joining us. Anything that you want to say, Linda or Liz, before we wrap it up?
I'm a big fan of Shimula, so I'm happy to pop in here anytime you invite me. I'm very excited for the whole and anyone who is even curious, reach out to these two wonderful ladies and talk to them a little bit deeper about what it is that Shimula offers. And I think that it's for those of us who are already running our business or starting a business, it's a very, very interesting and thoughtful program. So that's what I have to say. I'm a big cheerleader.
you.
I don't know where my pom-poms are right now.
I'm going to buy you some Shimula colored pom-poms.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Liz, to wrap it up?
Well, I want to thank you, Linda, for joining us. And seriously, we are here to support you. Our goal is to reach 100,000 women and help support them in this process of really, shifting their relationship to money so it works for them. So, however that works, we are here, and we're willing and wanting to talk to all of you.
Great. Thanks, you guys. And we will see everybody back here at 11 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. Talk to you
Sounds great.
later.